Hello, I'm Gail Ayers, the CEO of Crew Network, and I have a wonderful opportunity today to talk with Carla Harris, who is an exceptional woman and someone you're going to enjoy listening to. Her advice to women is superb, and I think many men would enjoy hearing what she has to say. Carla is the vice chairman of Morgan Stanley, and she is an active leader in that business as well as many other areas of her career. And we welcome Carla, and we wanted to ask her some questions that we think you'll find interesting. Carla, I'm fascinated by your career, and I'm also very excited about hearing more from you about how women can change our business. And I know that as vice chairman at Morgan Stanley, you've navigated the male-dominated waters so much in finance that you can give us great advice on how to help the woman who wants a seat at the table.
Yes, and I'll tell you, if a woman wants a seat at the table, while her prerequisite skills are certainly important because your delivery, your execution is the thing that gets people to notice you and creates the reputation, wow, she's good. But the most important thing to get you to the table are the relationships that you have in the environment. And the way I like to put it, Gail, is think about the fact that there are two types of currency in any environment, as I write about in my book, Strategize to Win: performance currency and relationship currency. And yes, performance currency is the currency that gets you noticed, but it's the relationship currency that will allow you to ascend. So if you want a seat at the table, it will be a function of somebody's judgment about whether or not you're ready, judgment about whether or not you'll be impactful, judgment about whether or not other people will follow you. And judgments are directly influenced by relationships. So don't overinvest in the performance and underinvest in the relationships. When you go into an environment, start connecting right away.
That's a very interesting comment because we do find in our research that women tend to leave networking for last because they spend so much time investing in doing the work.
Absolutely.
So this is an especially interesting tip for women who are thinking about having a seat at the table. Well, how do the most recent economic downturn affect the investments and your decisions about investments in commercial real estate?
Well, I'll tell you, whenever we have a downturn in the economy, and I've learned since I've seen several cycles, is that's the time to actually start to look aggressively for opportunities. And while I didn't find that opportunity, Gail, to invest in, I immediately started looking around in early '09 for what I hoped would be like a bit of a fire sale, if you will. And I tell everybody else that I know, especially people that I think, have the available cash, I said, now's not the time to be afraid. Now's the time to invest. You will never see these kinds of prices again. So invest in pools, invest in partnerships, invest on your own if you can. And I actually had a few friends that found really good properties in Detroit, in other areas of the South to buy.
Well, we're very excited about Detroit and hope to see Detroit doing very well in the future. Your books, Expect to Win and Strategize to Win, hit upon many issues that plague women in the work world. Tell us, what do you think we should be asking ourselves to make sure we're on our path to our best personal win?
Yes, I'm a big fan of having your own personal agenda. And the components of your agenda should be, why do I want this particular seat, i.e. this job? What skills do I want? What experiences do I want? What kind of people do I want to meet? And then why do I want to be in this house? And the house is wherever you're doing the business. Because I like the people, because I like the platform, because I like the career trajectory, because I have a voice. And when you have a personal agenda, personal/professional agenda, it will keep you from making emotional decisions in your career. So when you get to that lull or those days when you're not really feeling 100%, you can go back to the agenda and say, okay, what's going on? Am I in the right seat? Am I in the right house? If the answer is yes and yes, then you know what's probably confounding you as a person. And studies show that most women leave organizations because of one person. And that's where you remind yourself there's not a person born that you can't get around. So you should start investing. Or you may find that you fully prosecuted the seat. So now you know it's time to change the role. You're in the right house, but change the seat. But if you don't have an agenda it's really hard to check yourself to see whether or not you're on your path to complete fulfillment.
I cannot thank you enough for saying that. We explored a lot of conversations about that at Crew. And it is very difficult for women sometimes to leave, even though they know they need to leave.
Yeah.
And so we appreciate your comment about the right seat in the right house. Your accomplishments in all things are totally astounding. And you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
And a wonderful business career. How have the two of them played together?
Yes. I learned pretty early on in my career that my authenticity was at the heart of my power. And if you're going to be authentic, that means bring all of who you are to the table and your best self to the table every day. And it's funny how Carla the singer might make a connection where Carla the banker might not be making that connection. But because Carla the singer is allowed to be in the room with Carla the banker, that changes the dynamic. And a client may hear me differently. They may see me differently because we're talking about something that is around music, or maybe we're talking about being an author or the challenges of writing. So I have found that bringing all of who I am to the table has really enhanced any one part of me that I'm prosecuting at that time. Even as a singer, when I go in to record, I'm approaching that with all of my business skills. So I'm asking those questions that are going to make us most efficient in the studio so that we can lay down the tracks efficiently and in a way that is consistent with my budget and the cost, for example, as opposed to as an artist where I might be going in there not thinking about that side of it and really blowing a lot of dollars just to get one track down. So it's worked quite well.
Well, I know that many of us will be looking for Carla Harris music, and I want to thank you for being with us this morning. And I also have to say, you are one of the most astonishing women I have ever met.
Well, thank you, Gail.
And thank you for your words of wisdom. And I'm going to let you close with one piece of advice to women, but I think I just heard your best advice to anyone who wants to be successful in business. What would that be?
Well, now I want to know what you what you said, what you heard. But there are a few things that I'd say. But the easiest thing is have an expectation of winning. Expect to win. Own all of your power and bring all of who you are to the table.
I thank you very much for that. I also heard that you emphasize being genuine and really being yourself, because everything you have integrates to make you an extraordinary woman.
Oh, absolutely.
And thank you so much for joining us with the Crew Network.
My pleasure. Thank you.